Hi everyone, I'm Keertida. I'm a marketer who spent 5 years in Paris, followed by culinary school in New York. And interestingly, I got interested in Indian food and culture related to Indian food only when I stepped out of home. And it's looking at how food was represented in the global north, having lived in these places, studied there, made me more interesting about the narratives around my culture's food. And that is what I'm sharing now, primarily on Instagram. And when Sanchita invited me here, I really looked forward to meeting with people, like interdisciplinary learning, because food is not in isolation. It affects communities. There's an ecology aspect to it. And I'm here to learn and understand different perspectives. Thank you for having me. Hi everyone, I'm Keertida. I'm a trained chef and I'm interested in exploring the stories behind food, food culture, and the intersection of the two. You can go ahead. You can go to the next one. So, for someone as interested in local food as I am, where do you think I first had bathua? I had it in New York. And yes, I know. I had it in New York. And if you go to the next slide, and what do you think I thought of when I saw this? How many of us can recognize this green monsoon vegetable? It's available widely in at least Mumbai, like coastal. In coastal Maharashtra, yes, it's called Forshi. Yeah, it's called Forshi. It's a soup hyper seasonal local green available only for a few weeks in monsoon, early monsoon. Um, Despite being from the region, I'd love for you to hear what I thought when I first saw these. So if you could just play the video. How many of us can identify this super seasonal leafy vegetable available in early monsoons around Mumbai? The first time I saw fortune being sold along a drenched Dadar footpath, I thought these were rams, a spring allium I had read about even before I got to try them in New York, which is kind of sad. My frame of reference for something foraged locally was a foreign vegetable that felt more familiar, which just goes to show why representation matters. Chefs outside cook with and celebrate their rams and lesser known creams in restaurants as well as in food and social media, making them desired and demanded. Isn't it time we do the same for our bounty of seasonal creams? So yes, I think this video goes to show that I truly believe that what we see, speak of, and share gets consumed first as content, ideas, and eventually food. Which is why I think it's important to share stories and document our produce, our cooking practices, and inherited culinary knowledge. Because if we look around and we're all in a connected world now, so much of what the global north is just waking up to right now has been an inextricable part of how we've cooked and interacted with food. Let's talk about sustainability. It's become a buzzword when Michelin star chefs cook with peels and seeds that they would have otherwise discarded. They're celebrated. But we've been making chutneys out of scraps, using vegetable peels to make sabzis, using seeds to make chickpeas. Not because it was trendy, but because it was very often a case of necessity where the woman of the household had to stretch limited resources to feed a large family. So if you go to the next video, I have documented a forgotten recipe from my family where pumpkin peels are cooked with chauri, with a legume. And this is my aunt who's 82. Yeah, you'll just I obviously didn't know about this recipe because my mom just throws away pumpkin peels. You know, she's in urban. I've only grown up in urban India, and this is no longer made in my family because we don't need to. But this is a recipe that my aunt remembers her grandmother, well, saving pumpkin peels and sun drying them for use in monsoon months because they lived in a very disconnected village in Konkan where produce wasn't easily available in rainy season. And yeah, you know, they're using, I mean, here we use fresh pumpkin peels, but it's a recreation of a sustainable recipe. And if we talk about plant-based milks that you know the West is now milking, and again, like the West is now milking all sorts of nuts. But did you know of a millet milk, which is not new agey? It's a traditional recipe from Karnataka. They have it in summers, and that's the recipe. Yes. Uh, right. So, and this isn't new for us. I mean, we've been drinking, by we, I mean, you know, this is a regional recipe that's okay, almost done. So this is what I've been doing primarily on Instagram. Because as a trained chef with an engaged audience, I'm leveraging Instagram as a digital repository that allows us to reclaim the narrative around our food. So we're no longer apologetically calling dosa fermented Indian crepe or varanfar or dal dhokli Indian pasta or dal as lentil soup. And I loved what Sir said about repositories being organic and alive because I loved the comment section on my Instagram where I learned so much where people share, oh, in my family, this is how we've used, like a Bengali telling me, oh, you know, we've used pumpkin peels in this way. And yeah, there's a lot of knowledge we have to share and go around. Thank you.